Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's my pleasure to update you on very many exciting things that have been happening at Azumah since I last presented in London at a 121 conference. The presentation's called How Big Can It Get? And that's referring to the big push that we've got on the project at the moment to increase resources and reserves. The investment case for Azumah just gets stronger and stronger. We've got a 2.1 million ounce resource. A lot of that's in the measured and indicated category. 624,000 of that was put into a reserve category when we did a feasibility study in 2015. Didn't have quite enough ounces to get that into production. You really need about 1 million ounces. So there's a big push on now to get the reserves up to 1 million ounces, and we think we'll be able to deliver those in the middle of next year. What's driving that is that we did a transformative farm-out arrangement with a new PE fund based in Perth called Iberia. They've come in, they're going to earn 47.5% of the project by spending 17 million over the next 2 years. So Azumah's completely free carried now to that delivery of that feasibility study and that banking decision. We've got $2.5 million in the bank. We're not come issue anymore. We don't need to raise anything. So it's a really good time to consider becoming an investor of the company. We've just turned the corner. We've been doing a lot of drilling. We've basically had a major breakthrough in our understanding of the geology, and that's going to give us a lot more reserves in the short term. And last week we reported an intersection below what are the current pits of 44 metres at 5.37 grams, and that included 20 metres at over 10 grams and 1 metre with 4 ounces in it. And I'll explain why that is not just a good hole. I'll explain to you a bit later why it's really important for the project. The company's only got a $25 million enterprise value, so we see there's a lot of opportunity for the company to be re-rated. Last time I was here, I would have told you that the project is cheap, but I couldn't tell you why it was going to go up. Now I can show you why I think the company's going to get re-rated in the short term, and it's basically happening now. We've got a $6 million, 27,000 metre drilling program underway, and we're well into that now. We've got about 8 rigs on site. So similar graph you just saw with everybody today and with Archie, 12 million enterprise value per ounce. We will be delivering a development project next year, a lot of those in the measured and indicated category. If we were rated near the average value for our peers, we'd have a share price of about 11 cents compared to the current price of 3.5. The asset is really important. We've got a massive ground position in the northwest corner of Ghana, and just really leading on from what Archie said, this whole northern region of Ghana is taking on a much higher profile now with what we're doing and what we're doing there. And there's no doubt there's going to be a lot more discoveries on our ground and on the other ground in that region. We've also got a major stake in our neighbour, so we control almost another 10,000 square kilometres on the top of the 2,500 square kilometres we have. This is a really important slide. These are our new partners. They're not just putting money in, they're putting expertise. It's a private equity group that comes with people. We didn't have a team, we've now got a team. John Horonsky is probably the most important guy there. John is a worldwide authority on orogenic gold deposits. It's him that identified our project and said the guys out of the 200 projects they had been looking at must invest in our project. They're putting the money into the project, not into Azumah. They've got no interest in Azumah. It's a really good deal for our shareholders because it minimises the dilution for them. We've spent about $80 to $100 million on this project, so it's also a very good deal for Iberia. So we're very much aligned in where we're now travelling with this asset. We've got a very good track record of building up resources and reserves, so when you do have the money, which we now have, you will find more resources, you will find more reserves. There's a map of the northern part of Ghana, Nandini on the right and us on the left. You can see the size of our effective land position. It's huge. It's almost impossible to build up those land positions in West Africa now. There's basically gold everywhere. Everywhere we take geochemical samples, we find anomalism. There's no shortage of targets. We've got a big pipeline of areas that we want to drill. So we're very confident that we will be building up those resources. Here's our we can just see the eastern area there. We're just going to look at that in more detail. Those pink areas are very, very strong geochemical anomalies. When we drill those, we will get primary mineralisation. There will be more discoveries there. Some will be very small and some hopefully will be large. We already have a mining lease over a pit here at Julie, and there's 200,000 ounce reserve of pretty high-grade material there. We've got some fantastic targets here. We're very confident we'll be getting more resources here, here and here. This little licence, which is not shown, probably get another 100, 200,000 ounce resources there as well. So it's all upside. So last week we reported this fantastic hole, 44 metres, 5.37. There's some of the internal grades. It's not a one-hit wonder. We've got some very good intersections either side of that. But the importance of this, it's basically saying that we've now found the feeder into this upper level of mineralisation that we've tended to focus on in the past. There's a major structure running through. To show, there's a major structure running through. We think the gold's coming up there into these upper levels there. It's a game changer for our understanding of the mineralising mechanism into this area and for future exploration. But it's not the only decent intersection we had. That's the one we reported last week. We've actually got a very good track record, and these deposits do throw up very good intersections. And with all the drilling that we're going to be doing, we expect to be delivering more and more of these into the market this year. As I said, you can see the main focus has been on that sort of 0 to 100 metre depth. There's a lot more work to be done. And with that intercept, it also now introduces the opportunity to consider very seriously going underground at the bottom of some of our pits. We have here a plan of our Kunchi deposit. There's the mineralisation there. This is a long section through it. That's where we were drilling, and that's the results that we were delivering last week. We're trying to bring this low, this sort of shallow part of the pit down deeper, and with that hole, we've definitely done that. This is only 200 metres. This is how deep a lot of the deposits in West Africa, the similar style geology, go. There's no reason why this deposit won't go down deeper and deeper. It's still very early days. And that was the driver for Iberia coming into this, this project. So that's another hole on another section there, 22 metres at 2.43. We've also been drilling out here. We've found some more mineralisation. We think that might end up as another pit. We've got another pit likely in this area. So just in our main camp area where our plant will be, we think we're going to be delivering a lot more resources and reserves into the study. And let's not forget that we did do a full feasibility study 4 or 5 years ago. The project is, as the Canadians like to say, shovel ready. We've got 2 mining leases, 15-year mining leases. We've done all the metallurgical work. Our EPA permits should be to hand in about 3 or 4 months' time. We've got no communities to relocate like a lot of people. It's a very remote area, very underpopulated, subsistence farming. The government has rerouted the main arterial power line right to our mine gate. That there is actually where our mine gate would be. All the cables are there. We've got plenty of water because our boundary is the Black Volta River. Commercial flights will be starting this year to the main town of Wa. So we just tend to focus at the moment on building up those resources and reserves, but when we do, it's not going to be hard to bring this project into production. With the money that Iberia is spending and the amount of drilling we're going to do from an investor's point of view, there's just going to be a very, very, very strong news flow, and it's already started. We'll be reporting these results from drilling just to the north of the Kunchi pit soon, and then these results. We've actually got a rig, because of that good result, we've put another rig into the system, and that's drilling back at Kunchi. There'll be a resource update 3rd quarter of the year, and basically news flow all of this year and all of into next year. So why invest in Azumah today? I hope that I've presented a very strong case why it's a really good time to either be an Azumah shareholder or to get on board. And so thank you very much for just listening to that very quick run through of what I think is a very, very exciting story. And we've been through a lot of change, and I think now we're on the road to a reappreciation by the company, by the markets. Thank you very much.